You know how Preds fans everywhere typically don't like the mustard Preds jersey of the 2000s? Please tell me the Stadium Series jersey has passed it by? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it has, especially now since it's now 0-2 when the team wears it for regular season games. If I see it again, it'll be too soon. Preds lose 7-4 to the St. Louis Blues Saturday afternoon inside Bridgestone Arena. Really, it was 5-4 with 2 empty netters, but who's counting besides me just regurgitating what the final score was to you? The Preds' 3-game win streak is snapped when you really think about it, in a game that you never really thought the Preds would climb back into after the hole they dug themselves in the first period. First matchup this season between these two teams in Nashville after the two teams split a pair of games in St. Louis, with one more game still to come in mid-April. Preds and Blues both wearing their respective outdoor jerseys that they wore this season. Nashville in their Stadium Series game in Nissan Stadium, and the Blues wearing the jersey that they wore in Target Field New Year's Day against the Minnesota Wild. Preds with an excellent chance to open the scoring right off the hop. 30 seconds in, Matthias Ekholm pinches in and he wraps the puck around the net. Scramble right in front, but Husso, who was in net for the Blues as he seems to take over the number 1 spot for them over Binnington, is there to make the save. Man, what would have happened in the game if the Preds would have opened the scoring right there? And as a tale of the tape for the game, the Preds would be unable to open the scoring when they were tagged with having the first power play of the game. But then Ryan Johansson is called for holding Blues captain Ryan O'Reilly, and about a minute into that power play, David Perron with Shen of the Blues with a screen in front of Saros is able to open the scoring for the Blues. They lead 1-0. Less than a minute later, the Blues keep coming. Oh, and it's Ben Harpur. Did it have to be Ben Harpur? Of course, it always seems to be Ben Harpur. He makes a bag clearing attempt. Braden Saad of the Blues intercepts it, and he's able to roof it. Snapshot over UC Saros' shoulder. 2-0 Blues. Did I mention for those watching the game like I did that there was a large contingent of Blues fans at this game? If you were there, I'm sure you already know this, but it came in clear as a bell over the Preds broadcast feed on Bowie Sports. After every single Blues goal, I heard that classic annoying home chant they do after every goal where they count them out loud. Just over 4 minutes left to go in the first period. Brandon Saad tries to get his second of the game and put the game away right then and there, but UC Saros is able to stretch across with his right pad and keep the puck out and maybe give the Preds a chance to climb back in this game. Unfortunately, soon after that, the Preds would get called for another penalty, and this time the Blues would convert. Thomas makes it 3-0 Blues. The Preds, who were out shooting the Blues at one point in the first period by a total of 5-0, are now being outshot since then by a total of 13-5 for a total of 13-10. But with about a minute and a quarter left to go in the first period, the Preds would get one back. Puck goes behind the Blues net, and there's Ryan Johansson digging at it, and he gets it over to Phil Forsberg, who then one time passes it out front to his buddy Matt Duchene, who taps it home. It's his 30th of the season. The Preds cut the Blues lead to 3-1. It's only the 10th 30th goal season for a Preds player in franchise history. Duchene is now 4 back of tying Arvidsson's 34 goal record in a 2018-2019, in essence only 5 back from setting a new franchise high. And as we all know, Philip Forsberg is right on Duchene's heels, ready and hungry to break that franchise record too. Miraculously, the Preds get one back after such a disastrous first period, and they still have a chance in this game, but still trail 3-1 after 1. Preds would get another power play early in the second period. Much better pressure than anything they had managed to muster in the first period. Forsberg with a great chance to get one step closer to Leg One's goal record and also get the Preds 1 goal closer in this game, but he beats Husso, but he rings it off of the post. But the Preds keep going, and with about 40 seconds left to go in the power play, Josi gets the puck at the point, and he's able to create some distance between two Blues defenders by quickly getting it over to Matt Duchene, who quickly passes it to Ryan Johansson, who one times at home, cutting the Blues lead to 3-2. Preds get another power play about 7 minutes into the second period. A great chance. They're still buzzing. They still have energy trying to tie this game, but it stalls a little bit because Ryan Johansson gets caught, correctly mind you, setting a pick play interference on Robert Thomas, so these two teams will play 4-on-4. The Blues would get a 2-on-1 with Torrey Krug and Robert Thomas, and with the assistance of Alexander Carrier being able to block the pass, Saros is able to make the save, and soon the puck goes the other way. Into the Blues offensive zone, Mattias Ekholm has the puck, and he's able to wait and hang on to the puck long enough, and he's able to get it over to Philip Forsberg, and Husso is not ready, and Forsberg snaps it into the net. This game is tied all the way back up at 3-3. That is now Philip Forsberg's 29th goal of the season. He is now only 3 back of David Legwand, 4 back of surpassing him for all-time Preds goal scorer. Philip, use the force. Blues would retake the lead though, with about 8.5 left to go in the second period. Torrey Krug with a shot that would go off of Mattias Ekholm's broken stick, and then Ryan Johansson's stick past Saros. Blues have a 4-3 lead. Then, less than a minute later, the Preds back into the Blues offensive zone. Matt Duchene, after passing it to Ryan Johansson, gets it back from Ryan Johansson and gets Husso thinking, oh, is he gonna pass it back over there? Should I bite? Well, he gets confused and he gives Matt Duchene just enough net to look at, who roofs it past Husso. Preds, Blues going blow for blow, all tied at 4. And I'm really starting to enjoy this new nickname for the Forsberg, Johansson, Duchene line, the Niners line. It's nice to see the Preds showing up in this game offensively, as the Blues seemed primed and ready to have killed them in the first, but the Preds have crawled back. Now can they get a stop and then take the lead once and for all? Brown of the Blues tries one more time that period to give the Blues the lead. He grinds down into the Preds net, right in on Saros, who hugs the post and keeps it out. After a couple more chances by the Blues, the time winds down, the horn sounds. This game is all tied at 4s after 2. About a minute and a half into the third period, the puck in the Preds offensive zone lands at Colton Parayko's skates as he winds up to take a shot through a screen provided by Ellie Tovonen. Thank you very much. And Saros is very lucky because it just rings off the crossbar and stays out. The Preds fourth line, still hungry after the San Jose feasting last Saturday, has a great chance about 3 minutes or so into the period, but can't capitalize. Almost 4.5 into the third period, Preds with a great chance to take their first lead of the game. Roman Josi with a stretch pass to Yakov Trenin that he just can't get his stick on. Now the defenses of both teams have seemed to settle down, not allowing any goals as each team trades chances. Over 8 minutes into the period, you've got Philip Tomasino with a great chance down low, but Husso is right there. After the Tomasino setup, it's the top line of Johansson, Forsberg, and Duchene who are all buzzing around Husso, trying some great passing, but nothing can convert into a goal. Then about a minute and a half after that, you've got Luke Cunningham with a great chance. Oh, but Husso stops it, and then, oh, he robs Mikael Granlund. The edge closer and closer to the last quarter of the third period. Which team is going to blink first, or are these two teams going to be satisfied playing for overtime and giving each other a point, or is one team going to snatch that second point and leave the other with 0? Just over 5 minutes left to go in regulation. Alexander Carrier returns into his net to collect a cleared puck by the Blues, and Brandon Saad is right near him, and he pushes Carrier into Saros, and the two go tumbling. Fortunately, neither one of them is hurt, and the refs let it go, well, I'll remember the next time the Preds are in that situation, because I would have thought that would have been goalie interference, because you're putting the opposing goalie at risk injury-wise. A defenseman on the same team as his goalie is not going to embellish and potentially put his goalie's life or career at risk by tumbling into him if he can control his momentum. And alas, just under 3 minutes left to go in regulation. Josi a little late, as he had been pinching in the Blues zone, back into his zone for the defensive pressure, as Caillou is able to get it over on a stretch pass to Robert Thomas. Saros has no chance. Thomas puts it into the cage. Blues retake the lead 5-4. Preds would attempt to pull Saros to try and tie this game up, not once but twice, and both times the Blues take the freebie and say thank you, make it 6-4, and then a 7-4 final. Props to the Preds for climbing back into this one and almost getting into overtime after also having a few chances to take the lead themselves in the third, when this game looked all but lost in the first period. They simply just ran out of gas right near the 60-minute mark in the third. They showed me, though, with this effort, after almost coming back to beat St. Louis, and especially after how they played, beating Dallas late and throttling Anaheim, basically, that this team is further along with this new young core than we may have thought it was at the beginning of the season. About 30% of the season still left to play. The Preds can finish anywhere from in that 2-3 matchup in a wild card, and unfortunately maybe missing the playoffs. Still a lot of season left to go. I haven't really touched on this yet in any of these Preds fan reaction videos before this one, but the NHL trade deadline is a week from Monday. What are the Preds going to do? Re-sign Forsberg, you would hope, more than what Duchesne and Johansson makes, but not as much as what Roman Josi makes, because after all, he is the captain. But if you're not going to sign Forsberg in time before the NHL trade deadline, you cannot risk losing him for nothing. I don't care if having him with no contract is the rental. You don't lose that cash cow for nothing. Say he gets a better deal in the off season. I don't want this to be another Ryan Suter situation. Poile, negotiate. Get the best deal if you can't get the contract extension done. As well, Poile, if you're gonna add anything in addition, do not part with anything higher than a 4th round pick. This team's cupboard is doing pretty good at being restocked, but it needs a little more. You need those 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks. 4 games left before Poile might have to be called upon to make a trade. It's going to be one hell of a week upcoming. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. Shake it off, boys. There's nothing better than playing the very next day after a loss, so you can get right back on the horse again after getting off of the plane today in Minnesota for your game tomorrow afternoon.